Hey everyone, welcome in. It's Julie Max and the Main Stamper. I am here for your Monday card class at 8:15. It is actually 8:15. I am running a little bit late tonight. It's been one of those days, right? So I did a quick post running late. Hopefully you saw it. If you didn't see it, welcome in. Maybe you're 15 minutes late too and you thought you missed 15 minutes of class, but you actually didn't. You're right on time. I love that you're on time. And if you're watching replay, it's perfect because it doesn't matter what time it is. I love replay myself. So if you're watching replay, make sure you say hi. It's always awesome to know that someone is watching later on down the road. Now I am live, so anything can happen. Anything probably will happen. I got a little busy in the craft room. I got sidetracked by organization, which is crazy because my craft room has been so unorganized for so long. And then I started to organize a little bit and then I couldn't stop. And then I realized that, oh my goodness, my card class is coming up. So I'm a little bit behind. Hi, Jess. Glad you can make it tonight. Now behind me, you can probably see my new card tower. So I had to have room for that in my craft room. So I was playing and moving things around and the day got away from me, to be honest. And I will be doing a lot of my stamping and die cutting with you live tonight because I didn't have time to kind of work that all out ahead of time like I normally do. Now, welcome in. This is Festival of Trees Week 1. So when I say week 1, that means we have weeks until Christmas, and every Monday I'm going to be covering another stamp set with a pine tree in it or a tree in it, and we're going to get really creative with trees. I love Christmas trees. I have tons of Christmas trees. We're going to be talking Christmas trees for the next 10 weeks. I hope you don't get bored of trees. I promise I make every class exciting and fun, so it should be an awesome time. I see a whole bunch of you guys jumping on. Oh my gosh. Hi Jackie. Hi Catherine. Oh my gosh, so awesome to see you here. Hi Linda. Hi Melissa. All right, we're going to hop into it because I am running late and I don't want to keep you forever tonight. I know rearranging really feels good. My craft room, I have a lot more floor space, which is nice. I'm not tripping as much over my boxes. All right, let's get over to my workspace. We're going to talk about Merriest Trees. It is such a great bundle. Let me transition you right now. Continue to say hi if you're jumping on. I love to see everybody. So Merriest Trees is in the mini catalog. And it is awesome. This is all about Christmas trees. There's some really fun things with this bundle. If you already have it, I would love to know. If you've played with it, I would love to know. I had a good time. Now, my first card, I haven't showed you card yet, and that's on purpose. Festival of Trees Week 1. Each card is going to be a surprise. This card right here is going to be very similar to the card that I'm going to make first. But let us talk about the card class. So with a $40 order in my online store, you're going to get 6 card kits. You're going to get 2 each of the 3 designs I'm making tonight. If you bump your order up to 50, this is your free gift. It is beautiful, shiny green ribbon, and this may not look the Christmassiest color. It is Parakeet Party. This color has grown on me so much. When it first came out, I did not like it at all. So this is the ribbon. This is what we're using on all of our cards. There are a lot of Stampin' Up colors, papers, everything. This ribbon, this color, I should say, very popular this Christmas. The pastel colors are really in. Anyway, so I'm using this ribbon on my cards. You will get this, a spool of this, a whole spool, with your $50 order plus your card kits. The host code this week is 7GSDFMSS. These are all S's. There are no 5s. So these are all S's in case you're looking at that. I do have that in the comment here on the card class, and you'll get it in email too. This class is good through end of day Friday, 10/20, which happens to be Betsy's birthday. Betsy, my black lab, will be 3, and she shares that special day with my husband. My husband will also have a birthday, but he will be much older than 3, I assure you. So let's go on to the Merriest Trees Bundle. I love this set. This is photopolymer. This is like what I have left that I didn't use. So I got a whole bunch of things here on deck, ready to go. The tree is fantastic. I can't wait to dive into this with you. Now, these are my dies. Again, I kind of was hustling here, so I don't have them really super neatly. I will put these on a magnet sheet. But you have a tag die that you can use forever for all kinds of things, right? It's really easy to put a tag. Birthday, got a tag, right? Thinking of you, put it on a tag with a flower. Like, there's so many ways you can use tags. To, from, you can just make tags and use these on your Christmas gifts, right? So you can just make tags. There is not a to, from in here, but there are some cute little ornaments that you could definitely put on here and then do your to, from. Now let's talk about trees. This is Festival of Trees. So there are all kinds of trees in here. see if I can get all these out. So there's the biggest tree, then there's the next tree, then there's the next tree, and then there's like a little tiny topper. So I hope that you can see that as I'm layering these together, they fit and nest perfectly. And that's so that you can make a tree that has multiple layers, but it's all going to be the same size as this one. Or you can use the smaller trees and make individual trees. That is what is so cool about the stamp set. Now there's a really awesome base that you die cut, and it's got some really nice, like a basket weave in it. And then there's like a little tree trunk here. There are stars to go on top, different shaped stars, right? So you have your traditional stars, you have your almost like Star of Bethlehem. You've got one that's like really I mean, you could do this as 2 steps and have this be an intricate cutout over top of that star. You've got ornaments galore, right? And then oh, and here's the very top of the tree. I didn't even pull that one off. There's the very top of the tree. So there's really good things here. There's little squares for presents, which we all know presents don't have to just be for Christmas, right? Any of these presents could also be, that's not a present. These presents up here, these presents right here, they could all be birthday as well. So I feel like this is a really great set because it transcends a lot of things. We are going to be using it very nicely tonight. So Festival of Trees, week 1, we're using Merriest Trees Bundle. It's on page 12 of your mini catalog if you are playing along. So as I mentioned, I should bring this back in. This card right here is very similar to the one that I'm making. It's not the same because I do like to change it up, but it does have a white base. It has this really cute embossing folder called Christmas Tidings. And in this embossing folder, the words are raised. So you've got Christmas holly, joyful, festive, tree tidings, caroling, mistletoe, decoration, tinsel, Santa, Noel, lights, wonder, reindeer, ornaments, festive. It's awesome. This is the cutest little embossing folder. So they used it here and I also used it here. So here's my version of this card, and you can see the Parakeet Party ribbon just gives it some little bling here. And then I have, of course, this little gold paper here as well. This is adhesive backed. So I die cut that little star. We're going to make this one first. Now this is a pretty simple card. I did not put the presents on here, and I changed up the sentiment as well, but some of this is similar. So I wanted to point that out to you. I really liked that card in the catalog, and I thought I would just, you know, play along and try this out too. Now, as you get your card kits, you get 2 of everything. You get 2 envelopes. You're going to get 2 thick card bases. These are the tent folds. So there's a long tent fold, and I have one ready to go. So you're going to see that it opens this way, right? I should have showed you that. My card opens this way, which is fun. It's a fun card. Now you're going to get 2 embossed pieces in the white, and I've got the all the good words on there, and then I've got the garden green. Now they use shaded spruce, which I'm not a big fan of shaded spruce, so you're getting garden green. You're getting a couple of die cut tags. This is where I put my sentiment on. You've got some tree trunk worthy paper here, and then you've got some gold glimmer that is adhesive backed. So this is your card kit for this. Now don't forget, you're getting the ribbon for free if you do a $50 order. And if you don't do a $50 order, just use whatever ribbon you have. But I really wanted to use the Parakeet Party. So let's get our bones together here real quickly. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to wrap some ribbon around our embossed piece. I think I recommended about 18 inches. If you want to work off the spool, because you might have a spool, right? You can leave your spool off to the side, and you can just figure out how much you would need to come across this way. But if you wanted to cut instead, feel free. I recommend about 18 inches. I'm just going to eyeball it here for right now. We're going to go with about this much. So we're going to put this in about the middle of the card, but I want my little bow to be over here to the side. So I'm going to kind of hold this string down as much as I need to. I do want the front to be flat, so I don't care if it's twisted around in the back, and we will manipulate as necessary. Necessary, please. There we go. Nope, not quite. Okay, we're gonna bring this back over this way and make sure it's flat, like so. Okay, now we're flat in the front. That's what we want. We want to be flat in the front. And then I'm going to just tie a little bow here on the very end, the very edge of the embossed paper. And there it is, just like that. Now, if you want it to be more up and down, like this, which I do, I'm also going to bring in a glue dot to hold that in place. So that little bow, that little knot, I think my glue dots aren't quite, I don't think anything's quite set up as I want it to be, but we're going to keep going. We have a glue dot. I'm going to put it there on the end underneath the knot, and then kind of manipulate it so that it stays more sideways. So I think that's really cute like that. Of course, my ribbon twisted a little bit, but that's okay. We're going to keep moving here. That's going to really bother me that it twisted. It's probably flat on the other side, right? Now let's twist it on the other side too. Okay. This is the kind of day Julie's having today. We are going to continue with some dimensionals because we're popping this up. Now, what's really nice about these cards is I was putting these together tonight, and I mean really seriously tonight because I am such a last minute person. I get distracted and sidetracked and, you know, then just assume I can whip up some cards really quickly, which I did. But anyway, when I designed these cards and I was playing with the ribbon, I did not use any embellishments on my cards tonight. And I'm thinking for bulk Christmas cards, I know that everyone's worried about the weight of the cards, the amount of postage. Let me make sure we're opening the right way here. So these cards really are not necessarily flat, but they're light. I didn't use as many layers. I didn't use any embellishments. So they're not going to be bumpy. And a little bit of dimension is not going to make your card need an extra postage stamp. It's always the weight or the bumps that need that. And this ribbon is really small and thin and light. So again, this little knot right here is not as bad as the really big thick ribbon. So this will not cause an issue when it goes through the mail. So I just wanted to let you know that these cards from this class are going to be really good cards for mailing out. Now you're getting 2 pieces of garden green, and I intend for you, if you're using this die set, if you're using the Merriest bundle here, just like I am, you're going to be able to die cut out a Christmas tree just like this. And when you're done, it's going to look just like this. Now I did a little die cutting, but not everything is die cut. So we're going to be doing some stuff together still too. So let me find a piece of paper, any paper, scrap paper. Let's bring in a scrap paper. This one is already a little bit stamped on, but that's cool. Now we're going to bring in shaded spruce. Now my cardstock here is garden green, but we're bringing in shaded spruce. So we're actually bringing in a different darker color than the cardstock. So we're not doing tone on tone. We're going to go darker ink onto the garden green. So you can see what a big difference right here when we start and when we finish, what we have going on. So this is kind of like just the branches, the inside part of the tree. This isn't the background. So I'm just using the shaded spruce ink, and I'm just going to line this up. Photopolymer makes it so much easier, right? And put this on here, and it's going to give me these lovely branches just like that. Okay, and now I'm going to bring in a sponge dauber, and I'm going to change it because even now it still looks a little flat and boring, right? So you know I love a good inking. So my fingers got really inky tonight too. Playing with color is always awesome. So we're just going to go along, first we're just going to go along all the outside edges. And if you go in a little bit, that's awesome because we are actually going to continue. So again, this is just another step. You're going to see it's better, but it's not best. So we're going to continue to add ink. Now from here, I'm just going to use the flat part of the dauber. I'm not going to re-ink it. And I'm just going to brush some ink kind of around where the stamped shaded spruce ink already is. So I'm just going to kind of push some ink on here. I'm going to leave a few places untouched. So the garden green, I still want there to be some brightness that comes through, and I think that works out really well by just doing that. And it really, how quick was that, right? If you're making these in bulk, this is pretty easy to do. This was not a difficult thing to do. Now we do need to stamp and die cut our little tree trunk. So let me see if I can find that. This is pecan pie, which is the perfect brown. The perfect brown. Like, I love this color. So pecan pie, we've got a little trunk here. We're just going to stamp this on the piece of paper that you got. So this is tone on tone. So we've got the ink on the cardstock. And we are going to die cut this because I didn't do that part yet. We're going to stamp that, and then we have a star. Oh, I do have the star die cut. So you would take this paper and you would die cut this cute little star. That's going to be the top of our tree. And I'm trying to move things aside as I go. Let's see if we can bring in little guy today. I'm bringing in little guy. This is my little emboss buddy. My little stamping machine here. My die cutting machine. Oh my goodness. All right, so I'm going to bring in my little tree trunk, and I need to find the little die that goes with it. So here we go. We're just going to put that on there. Hopefully everything is in camera. And we're going to just put our plate on here. And hopefully it didn't squish too much, and we're going to run it through. I've been using my little machine a little bit more lately, which is nice. And it's just kind of handy. Now, I did a horrendous job die cutting that, but I'm okay with that because technically I'm going to sponge all the edges anyway. So this is a great way to fix the thing that you stamp and die cut, and it's just really wonky and off, like it's not even straight. It's okay. Add some ink on the edges and we are good, just like that. So now you can't tell that I didn't stamp all the way over there because I added just enough ink to cover up that. And it really adds a lot of definition too to the tree trunk. So I'm always a fan of adding more ink. So when I get out the ink, I ink a lot. All right, I think we have just left over here the sentiment part of the card. And I have a sentiment here that says, hoping your home is filled with the spirit of the season. And we're going to do this in the shaded spruce. So we're just using 2 ink colors today, shaded spruce and pecan pie for this card. And we're going to ink this up and we're going to do our very best. Actually, I'm going to flatten this out a little bit. It's kind of curly from the embossing. Okay, we're going to try it that way. Okay, I think we're still good. This just fits on here, like just fits. We're squeaking this in. And I did it. Oh my goodness. This is like, when you can do something like that and it's triumphant after you've had a day of like struggles, it's so awesome, I have to say. So awesome. All right, let's move this out of the way because that's just not very pretty. And let's finish up our card. I'm going to glue this little tree trunk down flat onto the card. I'm going to kind of figure out where I'm going to put my tree though, so that I can find the good spot here for my little tree trunk. So tree trunk's going on. The little pointy spot is going up toward the tree here, right? So the flat part will be at the bottom. And I'm going to turn this over and add a whole bunch of dimensionals again. And we're going to pop this tree up with some dimensionals. Just going to kind of put them on like we're doing Christmas ornaments, like one here, one here, one here. And that's good. Okay, so this is going to go on here and we're just going to center that over our trunk. And I'm aiming to get the top of the tree right here to the top of my embossed piece. And then this little star has a sticker on the back, right? So this is adhesive. So we're just going to pull that off. Do these not remind you of the little stickers? If you were in school a long time ago like me, and you'd get those little stickers that you could like lick and stick, and they came in all different colors, and you would get them on like charts for doing good things. This is what this star reminds me of. It is like the same, almost the same size and shape, which I think is fantastic. Takes you back to the olden days, right? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just put this on flat, and it's going to come down here. We're kind of leaving it off a little bit to the side. I did not add any dimensionals. For the most part, it's on the tree. It only comes off a little bit. You could sneak a dimensional in over here if you wanted to, but it's not necessary. And there it is. That is card number 1. Like super easy, quick, right? And so cute and festive. Now again, lots of white. You could definitely add more red if you wanted to. You could add a red layer. You could add some more ornaments to this one, but I just felt that it was really cute and effective to be a simple card. Just the white. I love the look of the white right now. So that is card number 1. Now let me clean down a little bit and we will get on to our next card. And I'm only cleaning these because we need them in cards to come. For the most part, I just clean up at the end so that the class goes a little bit quicker. All right, so that takes care of that one. I hope you like card number 1. Hi, Michelle. Oh, Michelle had trouble getting online. Hi, Sandra. Oh, yep, my dog was mentioned first because she's at my feet right now. Like, Betsy is laying at my feet. She's actually, she's collecting these little dimensional backings as I fling them off my countertop. And she's a black lab, so they really show up on her. And she's very patient with me. She's such a good girl. All right, we're going to go on to card number 2. Now, card number 2 is going to be fun in a very festive way. This is maybe an unusual Christmas card combination, but I think we all know someone who loves pink. I know a few people that love pink. And if you go shopping, you're in Hobby Lobby, Michael's, wherever, you're seeing these colors, pink and green, very popular, very trendy this year, right? So we're making this cute little, and it is almost like a fun fold, right? It opens short in the front. Here's our, I just think this is the most adorable tree card. So I love this one too. So we're going to move on to this one. You're getting, again, 2 of everything in your kit. So I will be sending you these card bases that all you have to do really is, they're good to go, right? So you have your card base. Actually, I'll just use that one. I have another one set aside, but we'll use this one, and maybe I'll burnish the edge here a little bit. Make sure it has a nice fold to it. Now let's talk about what's in our card kit here, because my goodness, we have some stuff going on. We have, you may recognize this. This is the modern oval punch from the Modern Garden class. I did a Modern Garden class a few weeks ago or so. This is actually Granny Green and Melon Mambo foil paper. It's probably shining and crazy right now. And you're wondering where it's on my card? It's right here in these presents. We're going to emboss that. You're getting some really awesome little Christmas light paper, Designer Trees paper. You're getting some pink paper, Melon Mambo, of course. We're going to do a tree, and then we're going to talk about our bones first. So let's open this beautiful card up, and we're going to get out one of each thing that we need, and we're going to just start putting the bones together. So we've got a nice white layer here. So easy. It's going to go right here onto the Melon Mambo. And again, even though this has layers on it, it is not a super heavy card. So it's still going to be good for 1 postage stamp if you're mailing. And it's also pretty flat, even with the dimensionals and all that good stuff. So this is just going to layer right on the inside. So this is the inside layer. Okay, now for the outside layer, we have Melon Mambo and we have Christmas lights. Now, what if you didn't want to make this into a Christmas card? Because you're like, I don't know, I would never make that into a Christmas card. Why don't you flip over the paper and turn, oh, wrong one. Why don't you turn over the paper and layer it to Melon Mambo? And then you can make this a green and pink birthday card, maybe even, right? So there are options here if you don't want the lights. You could think about, now this green matches the other green, not quite as much, but I'm thinking it can be done. And I know there's probably people out there that are bold enough to turn this into something completely different. But we're using pink and green on our little Christmas card here. So that's where we're at. So we're just going to layer this on, and then we're going to layer this on. So these are, again, the bones of the card right here. And I don't know if there's an orientation on these lights, because some of them are going up and some of them are going down. So I don't think you should stress about too much which way they go. Either way is going to work. Right? Now you've got your little sentiment piece here. So again, if you weren't using the lights, even the lights would be cute. I think though on like a birthday card, you could still get away with lights, right? It's a festive party. Why not? So there we have it. There's the bones of your card. Now we're going to stamp our tree, and we are going to use this big stamp again. And you may be wondering, like, why are you using the big stamp? Again, let me move those aside. We're going to heat emboss those ones. We have to use the big stamp, but we're going to use a smaller tree die. So instead of this one, we're going to use this size. This is the size that we're going to use. Let me get out the right color ink right here. Parakeet Party. Not your normal green ink for a Christmas tree, right? So I'm not even really going to worry about inking up the entire bottom here, because my die is going to cut this image short. So let me show you when I put this on here. Whoop, stuck. That it doesn't even, like, the whole thing does not need to be inked up. We're good, right? We're going to die cut this with a smaller die. This is the next size die down, and we're going to be chopping off this part, and we won't even see the bottom. Now before we do that, we are going to bring in Melon Mambo, and we're going to put on, this is the easiest way to do the ornaments. Now if you don't want to do all of the die cutting and you're like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of die cutting for all those little ornaments, and then you got to like stick them on, you're like, no way. If you do a light enough colored tree like this one happens to be, and doesn't matter if they, again, if they go off, we're good, because we're going to be die cutting that. So this is Melon Mambo on the Parakeet Party, and to be honest, it kind of looks a little bit red, which is interesting. Now we do have to die cut this, because I, again, did not get all my die cutting done today timely, and time got away from me. So we're going to bring in the mini. Yep, that's going to fit. And we are going to die cut again. So plates 2 clear plates, one on top, one on the bottom. We are going to put this on here. I'm doing this sideways, so it's like a little bit more difficult than when I'm standing directly over top. I'm going to throw on some mint tape. That's just going to help to hold that in place. And we're going to get this on here and pop this through. And there we go. We have a little Christmas tree. Now this is bigger than our smallest trees, but it's let me rephrase. This was our first tree, the big tree, right? Here's the second tree. So you can see that it's just a little, it's like a length here smaller. So this is our second tree. So we've got that done. And now we need to do some heat embossing because we have some heat embossing to do. Before we do that though, let me bring back in the Melon Mambo and my card. And I want to show you that I used Melon Mambo for the trunk. So don't be afraid to go with unusual colors. I can't remember if I cleaned that, so I'm going to clean that real quickly. I think sometimes the fun colors, unusual colors, right, are just like, they're perfect for somebody. Now this may not be your card. This may not be the card that you want to get in the mail. It may not be your colors, but you should know you might probably know somebody, whether it's someone younger or you know, if you're making some cards for kids, or if you just have that one friend that's like, man, they just love pink. It's just, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. So I just direct to the white paper here, did the tree trunk in the Melon Mambo. We can actually pop this on here with some dimensionals. We'll do that so I don't lose it, because I feel like if I don't put this on the card now, as I do my heat embossing and the die cutting coming up, I probably will like lose it somewhere. Is that going to be enough? Let's see. Yeah, I think that's good. We're going to do 4. I could have centered that one better, but it'll be fine. So we're just going to pop this on with dimensionals over top of our little tree trunk. I'm going to open this up so it's more centered here this way, and just like that. How cute is that on the inside of that card? So it just sneaks in there. I love it. Okay, now we are moving on to some heat embossing. This one has some heat embossing going on. So as you can see from our sentiment, I did the "We Wish You a Merry Christmas" on my little label, and I also heat embossed the presents. How cool is that you can heat emboss on foil? All right, so let me move some things out of the way so that we can continue with what we need to do. I need to bring in all of the heat embossing equipment. We're using white powder today, so I've got the sentiment, the Versamark, my little reversible tweezers, which I am adoring and loving. Let me get my powder opened up here carefully. And I think we're ready to rock and roll. Let's do the sentiment first. So we're doing it the long way because our sentiment is long. Now this sentiment is really cute, the "We Wish You a Merry Christmas," because it actually is shaped like a tree. So it starts thin at the top, and then it gets wider each line that goes down through. So it really does fit on, and I think they show the sample in the book too. It does fit on a Christmas tree, and it has that Christmas tree shape to it, but we are putting it on the modern oval. Now you could put this on anything, right? You could put this on any die cut, any punch piece that it's going to fit. And we've got "We Wish You a Merry Christmas." And I know you're all saying a Happy New Year right now. Like, I highly recommend that you say that right now. I'm going to put a little bit more powder on there. All right, I think we're good there. I'm going to heat emboss this one real quick, and then we're going to move on to the ornaments. Let me turn on my machine. I'll let this warm up just for a second and check comments. Hi, Janice. Oh my gosh, I love that you love Christmas trees. Sandra loves these colors for the tree. That's awesome. Oh yeah, you can heat emboss on foil, Jane. You're learning. I love that you're learning something. That is so cool. Now, heat embossing on foil, you got to be careful. You don't want to, I think I messed up my sentiment a little bit, but you don't want to over heat emboss on foil because the foil could melt. So you just have to be, you know, once it's set, you're gonna be like done. You're not gonna dilly-dally with your heat machine. Okay, so this one I kind of messed up my sentiment here a little bit, but it's okay. What I'm gonna do is I will probably, when I rework this card later, because that's that's what I would do. I will do another sentiment and then pop it over top of here. But just so that we see what's going on here, we're going to bring in some Melon Mambo and a Melon Mambo dauber. I think this is, oh my gosh, did you guys see that? Whew. My card was not injured. This dauber flew across my card and I really thought for sure I was going to have pink ink everywhere. Oh my goodness, my goodness. So that was a crafts-ident that just did not happen. So that's good. All right, so we wish you a Merry Christmas. It looks a lot better with a little bit of pink ink on the outside of it. Now let's move on to our foil. Now I'm going to tell you a secret too. So this is a secret. This is what happened earlier. I was heat embossing on this pink foil, and I was using this present, which has a very thin, I'm going to show you right here, very thin, like so the whole thing gets embossed except for the little strings, very thin strings. And I overdid the Versamark on the pink foil, and instead of embossing it, because I was like, oh my gosh, you can't even see the strings, it was just a white blob, and I was like, that's not what I'm going for. I'm just going to put a lot of powder on there. So what I did was I used my finger and I swiped off all the Versamark and all the powder, and then I came back in with my Emboss Buddy and just went over it really good until it was dry, and then I went and I redid my image, and it worked perfectly. Now when you put this stamp down on the foil, remember that foil is slippery, so you have to be really careful that you're kind of going just down and then up. Of course it's going to stick. And if you can see the strings, which I can, then you're good to go. So here we go. I'm going to just make sure that's all coated. So there's little strings in there, which are perfect. So again, I'm going to come into here with my little powder, and I'm being generous with the powder too. And then we're going to do our Versamark, get a good coating on there, and then again, don't squiggle it side to side. You're going to have Versamark everywhere. You want to pretty much go down and then take that off, and you can see the hopefully you can see 4 little squares there. If not, you're going to see them here in a second, just like that, right? So we're going to heat emboss these. Again, we're going to heat emboss them quickly and move on quickly, and it's going to be fantastic. And then of course we have to die cut them too, because they need to go on die cut. So let me grab my heat tool again, and seems how it's already warmed up, we should be good to go. So again, just keep an eye on the powder and turn your paper a little bit. I like to also turn my tool. I kind of missed a little bit of powder on the one end there. I think that's good. Woo! I'm gonna drop it. I'm gonna pick up this one. Squish my powder a little bit again. Now you can also use clear embossing powder, and you will get like a shiny, so I want to make sure that's good. Yep, that's good. You'll get a shiny look, like shiny on shiny, which is really cool too. So think about using clear embossing powder as well. All right, so let's finish up our card. This one is going to come on here with dimensionals. So we're going to just put a few dimensionals on here. Again, without that heavy bling, this is like really easy to mail, like pretty good to go. If I can get that one off of there, we're good. All right, so here is We Wish You Merry Christmas. We're going to cover up some of our little lights, but we still have enough on here. I didn't want to get such a huge sentiment on here that we couldn't see that. And then we have to die cut our little, let me close up my Versamark, move all of this stuff out of the way. Here, Betsy, have a few more of these dimensional backings. These things get everywhere. Can I get an amen on that, right? Okay, so we're going to bring in this little guy here, and we're going to die cut our little presents together. Again, I didn't have time to do all of this. I was already running late. This class was already late, and I was like, oh my goodness. Now these are like little tiny squares, so you just have to find, and one's a square, I should say, one's a rectangle. Find the ones that are going to fit. Now, when you heat emboss, your foil is going to be like a little bit bendy, so I would highly recommend some tape of some sort, whether it's washi tape, post-it note. I'm going to pop that on there. So my die is still like kind of being affected by, and then you can see that you can kind of rub off the emboss buddy comes off of here really nicely. Any extra powder that might have been on the side. Okay, we should be good to go here. Let me get my machine running in the right direction. And this is a great use again for the little mini. For the longest time, I was not a fan of the mini for the longest time, and we're on better terms now. We got to know each other a little bit better. So here are the little presents. Again, not the perfect embossing job, but just enough that you can see the little bit of shiny foil through the little crisscross here, through the ribbon here, and it just adds that little bit to the card. Just to make it really, I mean, Christmas card, right? We've got the shiny bling from the ribbon is a big thing. And then we're going to add these little tiny presents under the tree. Now, they are shiny and fun. I was looking to see if I had any mini dimensionals left. I think, of course, I don't. So I'm just going to chop off a couple little pieces here because I only need them on part of this and then glue for the rest. Because I'm going to kind of layer my presents here up into the tree off a little bit, and then I've got a dimensional for here, and minis work good for these ones because they are kind of tiny. See which way I want my present to go here. I'm going to go that way. So just a couple of them under the tree. Now, of course, if you have this set and you're going crazy, you can add as many as you want. And you also are going to maybe have this nice spool of, unusual ribbon for your Christmas cards. Like, we all know that a lot of things in the mini catalog, they're selling really quickly or they're on back order for forever. So take a look at some of the products like this ribbon, right, in the annual catalog, and think about, using those items in your Christmas cards if you're still waiting for something that's on back order. All right, so I'm just using a glue dot at the top of the tree, and I made a little bow off of the spool. I think I need to trim this up the side. Seems a little excessively long. But how cute is that? Now that's a much bigger ribbon than this one. And I feel like that one might be upside down. But we wish you a Merry Christmas. And it's just a really fun open. Now you could put another sentiment here, write your well wishes. Or if you wanted to, you could flip it over and put something on the back. If you didn't want to, but make sure that if you're writing, your writing doesn't come across. Because then when it's closed, you want it to be a nice surprise when you open it up inside. I just think this is a really sweet little card. I'm going to clean up here quickly from our embossing adventures. And we're going to be moving on to our third card. So we have card number 1 and card number 2. We have 2 cards already done, right? Cute. So fun, right? Lots of festive going on here. Let's work on our last card. Let me bring in the next card. Now this one may be unusual colors again because I do like to do the unusual. Aw, Janice loves her mini. Yes, Catherine, this is white embossing powder. Stampin' Up sells different embossing powders. No dilly-dallying, Jane says. I love you, Jane. Stampin' Up sells different embossing powders. They come in packages. You can get a white, a black, and a clear. And then you can get a package with silver, gold, and copper. So there are some different embossing powders out there. Here is our third and final card. I hope you're oohing and eyeing. Like, this one's really pretty. This is a little bit blue, a little bit more of a blue Christmas card. And I love the pretty peacock, right? So let's talk about the bones of this card here because we are using Pretty Peacock as our base. I think I have a base scored and ready to go. I do. Okay, I have the base scored. Now you're getting 2 embossed pieces. This is the Snowflake embossing folder. Again, another embossing folder from the mini catalog. It's got a lighter snow at the top. It's got some big flakes and then dots. And then as you go down, it gets like snowstormy, like this is accumulation, right? We all know a little bit about accumulation. Except for maybe Jane down in Tennessee. Jane, do you get a lot of snow down there? You probably don't get too much. But here's your snow. So here's your snow embossed piece. You're getting some vellum. Now for the vellum, you're going to be using the dies from this particular die set, which we talked about at the beginning. And you're going to be able to die cut yourself a little tag. Now this little tag has a hole which you can put string through, and it also has stitching along all the edges. So it's a really sweet tag. I did die cut that ahead of time, so I got that part done. You are getting a small piece of this most elusive paper. This is a really beautiful paper. Of course, it's on back order, right? But I have enough to make our card kits. This is going to go on to the bottom of our card here. And we are going to do some stamping. We have a white layer, we have a sentiment layer, we have this beautiful silver layer. Now from this silver, again, adhesive backing on this, which is fantastic. I also have, okay, from the dies, we talked about this at the beginning. This is the basket weave kind of embossing. So when you die cut it, it has those little pieces in there. It just gives it a little bit of texture. So you're going to use the silver and emboss. If you're using this, you've got a little tree bottom here. And then you're going to get a little bit of pool party. So I think these are really some beautiful colors together. And you might be wondering, like, how in the heck does this ribbon work with these colors? But we're going to do a little trick with the ribbon too. So we're going to change the ribbon up just a little bit. This is like a class full of tricks tonight. The first trick we're going to do though is we're going to darken down our pretty peacock layer. So you can see from my card here, we've got quite a bit of a difference in the tone. And that is because we're going to do my favorite thing in the world. And we're going to find the matching ink. Matching ink is Pretty Peacock. And of course, I've got all over my fingers today. Pretty Peacock and our blending brush. So we're going to come down on the top and we're going to go around all of the outside edges. I like to turn it. I just think it's easier to turn it and go. And some of this got a little dark. This is getting a little dark on me, but we're going to do all 4 edges. I'm going to leave the middle a little bit lighter. Just bring that kind of brightness into the middle. So you can see here that we've got an odd shaped middle, which is perfectly fine, right? So some light is reflecting down in, but we've got the outside nice and inked. It's just beautiful. Actually, while we have this out, let us bring in our sentiment piece. And sentiment piece is thin. It's just a 1/2 inch. And we have a sentiment somewhere here that says love and joy. Looking through my stamps here. Love and joy right here. Pretty Peacock. We're going to do the love and joy. And beautiful. Just like that. I love the font. I love to talk about fonts. So I'm going to just go ahead and trim the sides here a little bit at the angle. Just like that. So it's easy peasy. So we have our sentiment finished. And let's see, what else do we need to stamp? This one has a bit of stamping going on. We're going to stamp the tree. We're stamping a small tree. See how small that little tree is? It's really cute. But we're still using the big stamp because again, we're just going to die cut a chunk of this and leave the other parts behind. So what we're going to do is bring in some pool party. Yep, pool party. And we're going to just focus on really the top 3 layers of this because that's all we're going to do for our tree here. So there's no sense wasting ink and paper and doing the whole bottom if you don't need the whole bottom. So there is the pool party. And now we're going to use the peacock and we're going to use that detailed stamp again. So this is bringing in that blue spruce look. So we're going to just come over top of here. And we're going to get our little branches in there. And we're not done with the ink yet, so we're still going to be inking, but we do have to die cut that. So let's do that next. I think that would be perfect. Then we can just assemble the card. Let me move aside all my bits and pieces. Bring in my little mini again. And here we go. So I would love to know in the comments if I mean, this is not usual. Usually I have like by the magic of TV, I usually have everything die cut. You know, I stamp with you and then I just like, oh, and here is what it looks like when it's done. I would like to know if you like this part or if you would like it to be already done and quicker so that you don't have to watch me do the die cutting part. Because I don't know if it's if it's a value and you enjoy it, that's awesome. I can try to sneak some more in. But if not, that's, you know, like I said, normally in my classes, I have things rocking and rolling here pretty good. We do like to cover 3 cards in a pretty quick amount of time because time is a very precious commodity. Now we're going to come through and we're going to change up our, as you can see here, we're going to change this up again. And I need to find Pretty Peacock. Pretty Peacock. I think this is pretty. Yep, my dauber. So we're going to come in here and just come along the edges here again and add some more of this little blue ink in. And it just kind of, it also kind of makes the pool party change tones a little bit. When you bring in this darker color, it somehow makes it a little bit different, which is awesome. The magic of adding color, right? All right, so I think we have everything that we need for our card and we're on to the assembly part. So the first thing we're going to put down is this layer. Now I want to point out, as you get these in the mail, depending on which section, you can see these go together, which section of designer paper you're getting. Some may have more white, some, you know, just, it's going to all vary. So that's going to make your cards even more unique. So of course, you know, we all know, right? No two cards are the same. You can't, it's really hard to stamp it exactly and place exactly. I think I'm going to use this side for the front. It's really hard to do that. So each card is a little bit unique, handmade with love, of course. And then when you change, you know, have just a little bit of variation on the paper, it's even better, right? So you can see there's a difference between this original one and this one as well. So cool. All right, so my snowflake, you have to decide which way you want your snowflakes to go. I like the top to be lighter, but if you want it to be heavier at the top and lighter at the bottom, you could rotate that. This is a 4x4 piece of paper, so it is really easy to do whichever side up that you want. I'm going to put a thin little bit of glue here at the bottom and the back, and I'm going to add this little white strip. Now this is a 4-inch strip. It is 3/4 by 4 inches. If it's a little long, trim. And basically what I'm doing is I'm just adding, as you turn it to the front, you can kind of maybe adjust it a little bit. It may actually need a little trimming, a little bit of trimming here on the side. If I can see, I might have excuse my, if my ponytail ends up in the camera, please excuse. I have to get closer to my eyeballs to do this. Okay, so if you need to trim a little bit, but what I wanted to do was bring in some brightness or some whiteness to this card. And just by adding this little strip of white here, not a lot of bulk, right? It's just a little bit. So it adds just a little bit to break the dark to the designer paper. And then we're going to glue this down. So this is your back side. And we're just going to mat this and put this on just like we would any other layer, where we're centering it on the sides and along the top. And really, this is, again, the bones of your card. Like, this does not have to be a Christmas tree. You could put a snowflake on here, it would be beautiful. You could put you know, just a sentiment on here and it would be beautiful. There's so many different things you could do with this. We're going to talk about our tag next. So this is our tag. It's already been die cut. We're going to put down our little sticky paper silver embossed tree basket. Let's call it a basket, right? So I'm going to just pop this onto, and make sure you're looking at your die cut pretty side up. Okay, pretty side up. We're going to just pop this on here at the bottom, kind of center it. Then we're going to put our tree on with some dimensionals. Again, this is the little tree. So as we've gone from big to medium to small tonight in our Festival of Trees Week 1 class. So these are the 3 trees we're using tonight. And as we've gone smaller, we need less dimensionals, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and pop this down over top of this this little base that I put on here. And it doesn't have to be like, we're going to angle the tag, so don't worry if it's not completely straight. Now that I have this on the vellum, I know exactly where I can put adhesive. So I can put adhesive wherever the tree and this little base is, but I'm not going to put adhesive along anything else because I don't want the vellum to show adhesive. And I'm going to angle this so that a little bit of the vellum peeks down onto this white layer here, just for fun. Just a little bit, kind of angle that down. So again, press where the tree is and where the trunk is, because that's where your adhesive is behind this. You don't really necessarily have to press the vellum. I think we just press everything out of just habit, really. Somewhere on my desk, I have a really nice sentiment that I stamped. I lost my sentiment. How can that be? Betsy, did it land on you? I might have to restamp my sentiment because I cannot. Oh, here it is. Here it is. I think if you pick up enough papers, eventually you find things. I found all kinds of stuff in my craft room today while I was cleaning and organizing. I don't know how I got on that tangent, but when you get in the mood to clean and organize, you usually don't want to stop, because then when you stop, you don't start up again, like you're done. All right, so as I'm talking, I glued this sentiment down to this little pool party strip, and I'm just trimming the edges along, so I'm getting the same angled look. So I've got basically a matted look just by using scissors. It was so simple to do. So we're gonna put this on with the dimensional on one side. Do I have any left? Oh, I have a couple left in here. Dimensional on this side, and then I'm going to put some glue on the side that's gonna hit the tree. So this one will go right here. And again, you can keep this kind of straight now. if you so desire. Of course, if you like angles, keep going with all the angles. But we've got Love and Joy that kind of just comes off the tree there. The pool party brightens it up a little bit too. Now, as for this beautiful ribbon, this ribbon that you're like, well, I don't know if it really goes. What we can do, what I found that I could do, is first I'm going to make a bow. Let's just decide how much ribbon we're gonna need. We're just gonna make a little bow, right? We don't need a ton here. So let me make a little bow here. Oh, I made a big bow. Do I want it to be that big? Yes, I do. Okay, moving on. Okay, now that we have our bow and it's really green, we're going to bring in our Pretty Peacock ink and our Pretty Peacock dauber, or you could use the blending brush too. Is this pretty? I feel like that's shaded spruce. I need to label these better. This is on my list of things to do. All right, Pretty Peacock. We're just basically going to add some ink on top of our ribbon. So I know you're going to go through a little bit of ink here trying to darken this down. But if you make the bow first, you don't have to do both sides of the ribbon because you already know which side is going to be facing up. So we're just going to darken this down a little bit, and then it's going to blend in a little bit better with what we go with our card parts and pieces. Like I really wanted to bring in some blue, but sometimes it's hard to, you know, coordinate just so. And you're going to get really inky fingers, so just keep that in mind. You're going to have very inky fingers, but it is a little bit darker and it goes just a little bit better on this card. So we're going to go ahead and bring in a glue dot. Glue dot. The box is empty. The glue dots are on the counter. We're going to grab one out. And I'm just going to cover up that little hole that's in the tag, and I'm just going to pop this on here. So it has the illusion that it's coming through the hole, but it's really not. Like, let's make things simple, right? We don't have to thread that thin, that ribbon right through there. So there we go. There is our last card. Isn't that gorgeous? So pretty. So we have those 3 cards today for our Festival of Trees. I'm going to plop them all out here on the counter so you can see them. So we have some unusual colors, right? We started with traditional, very white and green, and then we got a little funky with some really fun color, green and pink, and then we went a little bluesy with the peacock and the pool party. Gorgeous paper right there. So those are the 6 cards that you're making with your card kits this week, and that is using the Merriest Trees Bundle. All right, so let's see where we are at. Let me flip back over here. Find my transition. Hi, we did it. And we didn't go too far past 9 o'clock. If you're watching live and you're on the East Coast, it's just a little after 9. So that's awesome. I'm so glad that this actually worked out. I tried to speed it up here after I was a little bit behind. I am breathing, Jane. Thank you. I know. I always feel like miscombobulated when I'm off my schedule. All right, Janice likes it. I'm glad that you're having fun. Oh my gosh, we all get so inky, just like the tips and the cards tonight. Thank you, Jackie. I know they are really some fun colors. Thanks, Deb. I like that you like these. She likes the embossed shiny presents and the vellum on the 3rd card. There is, there's a lot of Christmas is the time we go over the top, right? I mean, I go over the top. So I feel like your cards, even though you don't have to go over the top, if you just add that little extra shiny ribbon or a little bit of vellum or a little bit of foil, something that's just a little bit more than the normal cards that you send out, it really elevates just the simplest little things. I know that I really love to see the glitzy things, the glitter and shine. At Christmas time. I think it reflects all the lights that are surrounding us because we have to light everything up. It gets so dark at Christmas, and I love the lights. So that's it for our card class. I hope you enjoyed them. If you want these card kits in the mail this week, you just place a qualifying order. A $40 order gets you the card kits. There are 6 of them coming your way. $50 order, you're just going to get the ribbon too, which is awesome. If you have any questions on that host code or the cards, please leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you. And if you're watching YouTube, hi on YouTube. I am so excited to share. I have just hit 1,000 YouTube followers, and that is just amazing to me that so many people are following me over there so that they can check out the cards that I'm creating and get inspired. And that's really what I'm trying to do here, is inspire everyone to get out those shiny bits, get out the foils, get out the vellum, make some beautiful cards. Now remember, I will be back every Monday, 8 o'clock for, we have 9 more weeks of Festival of Trees. So there's going to be another stamp set next week with trees in it, new cards, new designs. It's going to be awesome. We're going to keep treeing it up all the way through, almost till Christmas. So thanks for hanging out with me. Thank you, Catherine. I'm glad that you enjoyed this class. And until next time, stay inspired, create something beautiful, share the love. Bye, everybody.